Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin here today with another video. So, for today's topic, what I want to talk about is CP weighting. What gives you the most CP? Because I'll be real with you guys, I've been asked the question so many times, how did you get your CP above 60k on this character? How did your CP get to 70k on that character? And this, that, and the third. And I'll be honest, I really don't know. So, what I did is I went to Emily and Asagi. I took off all of their gear. The reason I'm doing Emily and Asagi, I have every Emily skin, but I know having every skin is unrealistic and that is affecting her CP. So we're going to use Asagi as more of like a realistic example after looking at Emily, because I only have one skin for Asagi. And I still have multiple skins for like all these other characters, like at least 2 to 3. So yeah, it'll be Asagi and Emily today. So first we're going to go to Emily. So as you can see here, she has 32,787, and that is with no supporters, and that is with no weapons. Now, okay, well she does have a weapon, but this is just here to like lower her CP as much as possible. You can't take that off. Now, we do have all the skills at level 25. Each skill level up is worth like 30 to 40 CP. Like, I think, if from leveling them, like, I think that's about how much they give. So, if your character's skill levels aren't completed, and they're like, say, level 75, that's probably like the deviation would be the amount of costumes Emily has, and the skills being done, because they do contribute to CP too. So with that being said, with max skills in all skins, a base Emily at 75 is 32,700. So the first thing we're going to look at is weapon. We're going to use the weapon that I normally do. So we have here her S level 4 Tamari that I use for PvE. It has no Magatamas in it. Let's drop it on and see what it gives. Okay. So we went from 32,700 to 47,384. So just under 15,000. It's actually like 14,500, because if you round up like 32,787, we'll just say 32,800 and then just make it a clean 14,500 for simplicity's sake. So that is about how much that an ultra rare weapon would give if it's at S level 4, and this is a gacha quality weapon. Now, arena weapons do have like the stats of a gacha weapon. The ability is different, of course, but since they kind of match up with the stats, as you can see, this has 35 by 43 and this has 29 by 55 because it's not done. We're going to just give her the full S level 5 weapon with the Magatamas on it, which I'll go ahead and remove, actually, just to see flat what it gives. Okay. So as you can see, that actually jumped her to 50,700. So that's actually about 18,000. So with that being said, we can easily like ascertain that the weapon is worth a really big chunk of your CP, especially if it's an S level 5 ultra rare. So Emily does not have any S level 5 super rares because I've been hoarding them, but Asagi does, so we're going to look at super rares when we get to her. So for now, let's switch her back to the Tamari because this is realistically what she does use. So, 47,384. Now we're going to give her Magatamas that I would normally give her. There they are, they're all hiding down here. Have you. One of these is bad. Yeah, we want you. And then you. And you. We hit equip. Okay. So as you can see, that actually jumped her up just over 5k from what she was at. It's like about 5,300. So yeah, Magatamas alone, like, that are affixed and that are max level, are literally worth about 5,300 of your CP. That's not bad at all, actually. I didn't think they were that significant. So, with that, we're gonna give her back the rare weapon. We're gonna go back to basics. So bam, 32,787. Now we're going to drop on her usual supporter loadout. So we're going to give her Spica here. Equip. Then we have to fish. There's... Okay. So we're going to give her Homer. And then we have to find Robot Mom. There she is. Okay. So while wearing Freaky Fish Girl, Homer, and Robot Mom, you could see here that she's at 49,829. And keep in mind, Spica isn't S level 5. She's only S level 3. So this isn't even as high as it could go. So with that being said, let me throw on an S level 5 Gacha quality ultra rare just to kind of get an idea of what it would look like if Spica was S level 5. Okay. So, seeing this, if you have a full loadout of supporters and there's an S level 5 ultra rare in the mix of those, supporters and weapons literally equal each other as far as like the weight they put on your CP. Now, let me do like a more realistic build. Like, so most people probably have a Homer and a Robot Mom. So let's give her something like that's more common. People may have. You could use Renko on Emily because of her axe, but assuming they don't want to run axe and they just want to run a red Emily, I'd probably do something like this and make Homer the main. Here, where's the one Emily's wearing? Where is it? There's too many Homers. There it is. Okay. So we swap these. Alrighty. So if you're in like a full super rare loadout, and the super rares are all S level 5, then you could see here that we're sitting on like, what, 46,200? So you're about 6k short from if you were to run an ultra rare at S level 5 as your main. But still a large weight on your CP overall. Now, we're going to take these away. Can't have nice things. We're going to go back to basics once more. And then we're going to look at the weighting of a sub weapon. And then we're going to look at it with Magatama. So, 32,787 as per usual. We're going to come over to her sub. We're going to give her what we would normally use as a sub, which is an S level 5 ultra rare. So you see that's worth infinitely less than everything else. Honestly, it's worth 2,100. Now, we're going to give her the Magatama. Go to this here. And she was wearing reds in there, so we'll just throw them on her. And I know I'm just kind of moving quickly through this, but each of these Magatama are completely like maxed out. The crit ones were fixed, the reds are not. So, with the reds included, we jump to 35,396. So, you literally don't even get 3,000 from a sub-weapon with Magatamas in it. You get about 2,600. We'll say 2,500, but it's a little higher than that. So, now we can ascertain what really makes your CP go up. It would definitely be having like a high S level main weapon and having high S level supporters, of course. Obviously, things like Spica are not realistic, which is why I did the example showing with the super rares. So, we're going to leave Emily alone. We'll just kind of fix her gear later. We're going to go to someone who doesn't have all their skins, which would be Asagi. So you see there is a difference between them. Having only one skin that gives stats, because I don't believe the defaults do. Yeah, they don't. Asagi is sitting at 29,781. So she's literally almost exactly 3k CP less than Emily. And since both of their skills are maxed out, as you can see, this is all 25. Then that means that if you have all the skins for a character, that's good for about 3k CP, maybe more depending on the amount of skins they have. Like Asagi has more skins available to her than Emily does right now, if I'm remembering correctly. So Asagi's CP with every skin, including the ones that like aren't here anymore, like the Halloween skin and the White Almighty skin and her Christmas skin, which I did not get, may come closer to 4K, maybe even like break 4K, be like 4500 or in that range. But we only have this one skin, so let's look at her without, skins and see what someone in a more realistic situation would have. Because most players would not have every skin for their character. So, for consistency, we're going to grab Freaky Fish Girl. We're just going to do the same exact loadout. We're going to grab Homer. There she is. And then we're going to grab Renka instead of Faust because she's the melee equivalent to Faust. Hit equip. Alrighty, so yeah. Again, that gave her a nice jump in CP. About the same amount as Emily, actually. I think it's exactly the same amount. So it doesn't matter if you're starting from a lower CP threshold. It doesn't scale up the more you have starting. It's just a flat amount depending on what the supporters and weapons do themselves. So we're going to take this away. Now, free-to-play examples. We did a free-to-play supporter example on Emily, and we saw that having maybe one maxed out ultra rare that's S level 5, because the Kaworu that I have is finished, there she is right there, would net you about 6k more in the loadout than having 3 super rare supporters. Obviously having 3 ultra rare supporters would net you the most possible CP, but those aren't always competitive builds, so we're obviously looking at viable builds. And running Kaworu with Faust is actually good because she increases crit damage, Faust gives crit, and blah blah blah. And you can run mixed builds like that, that's not a sin. It just depends on your character's skills and how everything meshes together. Anyway, getting off subject like I usually do, now we're going to look at weapon. So, just to remember, 29,781. So we're going to give her Yamikui Maru. And as we can see here, a nice jump once again. Good for 15,200. Well, 15,180 actually. But hey, who's counting? So, we all know S level 5 ultra rares are heavy weighted. What people want to probably see now are some completed super rares. So we have this magnetic sword. So from her 29,781, the magnetic sword would actually give her just over 10k. Not bad. So yeah, definitely weapons and supporters have the most weight. I feel like if you have an ultra rare supporter in the mix next to an ultra rare weapon, they almost equal each other. But if you're running a super rare weapon, then your biggest weight would be the supporters in general. Even if you're just using super rare supporters, they would weigh out to more. Because I believe on Emily they came out to about 15k for just all super rares at S level 5. If I'm being honest, as someone who's a new player, or someone who doesn't have a lot of high level supporters and maybe they've been playing for a few weeks or a month, supporters are definitely more important than your weapon to level first. The reason being is they make you more tanky. As you see, they just give you HP and defense. Not even looking at the passives they give. They just raise your survivability, and you need that survivability to do hard mode. You don't need to be a super tank. You can have a glass cannon build, but just having some supporters under your belt at level 60 is going to help you a lot. And then having super rares at level 50 is going to help you a lot because you will not die as easily. Now, with that being said, weapons still matter, of course. You definitely want to get your best possible weapon, and what I mean when I say that is you want to have a high S level on the weapon, and you want to have, the highest rarity you could possibly have. So, we're gonna just give her back the Yamikui Maru. Actually, you know what? No, we won't do that. We're gonna leave her with the magnetic sword. We're gonna drop Magatama into it just to see what she would look like with a super rare. Will these suffice? No. I want to copy Emily. Hey you, I need these reds. Give me these reds. I have way more reds than this, but they're all on other characters. I probably should have prepped better. That's my bad. But either way, it was a few seconds of your time. So you, take the reds. Give you this. And this will end the video. I just want to wait how this will do on her. So we started at 29,781. So the reds again were worth about 4,500 if we're adding them from the 39k that we had. So not bad. Not bad at all. Like, definitely Magatama's on your main weapon with as many dupes as possible and the highest rarity you can muster will definitely be your best bet as far as bumping CP. And obviously, like, the DPS will be good too. But I think in this, like, whole test, if I'm going to weigh everything, supporters definitely give you the most CP. And they match having them S level 5 ultra rare, but the reason I say the most is because even with that, they're interchangeable, right? Like, I can't give, like, a magnetic sword or a Yamikui Maru to my Sakura. So, if you don't have an S level 5 weapon for a character, they're going to be limited regardless of what you do. But supporters are for everyone. So you can take and throw your Spica anywhere, you can throw your Kaworu anywhere, you can give anyone your Homer, and blah blah blah. So, I definitely think supporters hold the most weight and the most versatility. Behind that, your main slot weapon with Magatamas would hold the most weight, the weapon holding more weight than the Magatamas themselves. And then behind that even, your sub slot is infinitely less important. And like, since most people don't even bother swapping to their sub weapon, it kind of comes down to it just being there for an extra like 3 to 4k CP, like even if you have an ultra rare. So it's not bad, it's just that little cherry on top, but it definitely has the least weight. And with that, that's everything I wanted to look at. So now you guys know, now I know what affects CP the most. So if people are looking to just like show off their highest possible CP, they can use this video as a reference. And again, higher CP doesn't always win. Like I said, you're going to want to use some super rares with your ultra rares, in, as far as supporters anyway, to make sure that you're getting the most optimal passives on your character. So don't think like having 80k CP with 3 ultra rares that don't work together is good. It's probably not. You're just going to have a high gear score, and it won't really be doing anything for you. So with that, that'll be everything. If you guys found it helpful or informative, please like and subscribe as it really does help me out. Thanks for always tuning in. As always, I really appreciate it. And you guys go ahead. You have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. May you have good luck in your gachas and in the arena. And you guys take care. I'll catch you tomorrow.